What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull-Up Show. I'm your host, Mr. BJ Matthews, a.k.a. B. Just before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull-Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. All of our YouTube videos, hit that like button. Y'all coming here to share, subscribe as well. Hit that Cash App, $SlickRick1990. $SlickRick1990 is our Cash App as well. You guys do not want to miss up on all the action we have for this off season. Make sure you guys continuously support the Pull-Up Basketball Podcast at your own discretion. All right. So, more off-season talk. LA Clipper talk. Summer League is all around the corner. The draft just happened. You know, and then before you know, we'll be up into training camp. We'll go back into training camp. We'll be right back into the things in about 2.5 months. Because we're in July right now. Actually, 3 months. I'm tripping. 3 months. So, let's get into it, man. Let's talk about it. Y'all see the title. Y'all see what it is. We got to talk about this whole situation with Nicolas Batum, who just resigned. He declined a player option from the Los Angeles Clippers, according to Shams Charania. So let's go ahead and look at something real quick. Let's go and look at this real quick. As y'all can see, sources: Nicolas Batum opts out, interest in Clippers return. Okay. And I'm actually driving right now, so if you guys can hear some background noise, that is the reason why. But I'm trying not to look down as I'm driving. So I'm just going to leave this up here for a minute. So this was actually reported, I believe, what's today, Sunday, on Friday, that Nicolas Batum is opting out, but he plans to opt back in with the LA Clippers. Nicolas Batum is in his 18th season right now. And he is currently on towards the end of his career. And I think this is a subject worth having, and I don't think a lot of people are really trying to talk about because of the fandom people have for Nicolas Batum. Nicolas Batum has been a Clipper homer. He's one of the guys that's really been supported by not just the Clipper fan base, but just, basketball heads in general, right? Nicolas Batum has a lot of stake in the Clippers organization as a player, as a person that is a good locker room guy. His teammates love him. You ain't gonna find too many bad people to say nothing bad about Nicolas Batum. As a matter of fact, you probably won't find any guy has anything bad to say about him. He's a high character guy, played overseas in France, team first always over his own personal accolades and accomplishments. So you got a lot of people who will speak on Nicolas Batum and watch their words. But for those who do not know, as I've said before, the Clippers have to decide: are they trying to win a championship, or are they trying to just be relevant? Are they trying to be a first round, or are they trying to be a playoff team, or are they just trying to be competitive? What are they trying to do? Based off of the talk, and I'm going to talk about this in another video, the Clippers, Lawrence Frank, talking about the draft that he got for this guy, Giannis, as a 30th pick. And then as you look at some of the moves the Clippers did and have not made, there's only the one reason why the Clippers are not making big moves or making any moves, period, is because they're waiting on James Harden to make his decision. Once James Harden makes his decision, he either opt in or opt out, then you'll start seeing signings, you'll start seeing probably some release. Everything is kind of stemmed to James Harden. So, Nicolas Batum. Last year, Nicolas Batum, if you look at statistics right here, let me go ahead and move this out the way. I'm trying not to look at the road, y'all. So, last year, Nicolas Batum averaged 4 points, 2.8 rebounds, 1.1 assists, and from 43% from the field. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Nicolas Batum is 36? Yeah, he's 36 to be 37 in December. So he's definitely on the later parts of his career. I won't say he's ancient, but he definitely is old. He's definitely old, and that's why I want to make this video. The Clippers, one thing about the team I'm really realizing is that they tend to sign players a lot of teams probably wouldn't even give the shot or give the opportunity, and they hold on to them for an extended period of time. And I think personally, Nicolas Batum is another part of this article that I didn't say. The article with Nicolas Batum opting out for his contract. They said he's heading into his 18th year in the NBA. Batum has said there's a very, very good chance that his upcoming season will be his last. Okay, so this was very similar to what he said after he left Philadelphia. I believe that final year, somebody can help me out. I hope Andre's in the chat. Nicolas Batum, his last year in Philly was going to be his final hoorah from what that was being said. Turns out he gets signed by the Clippers later, and I'm pretty sure Lawrence Frank had something to do with that. See, people got to remember, before Nicolas Batum came to the Clippers in 2021, he was almost out the league. His previous team, the Charlotte Hornets, they pretty much released him, and he was out the league, man. Nobody wanted to pick Nicolas Batum up, and it was the Clippers that gave him an opportunity. So you've heard it many times in interviews, as you've heard it, Nicolas Batum echo it out. He feels he owes the organization for saving his career. So when he was on the way out the door, which I believe he was on his way out the door, he said to himself, I got to give this another championship. I got to give this another go. So he comes back to the Clippers last year, and he looks like he's going to possibly come back again this year, and then he's going to retire. I'm going to be completely honest in this video. I think Nicolas Batum's time is up right now. I think his time is up. I don't think it's that he can't play, but I think the talent level in the NBA, if the Clippers want to contend for a championship, you have to cut off some of the old things to make new things. Right? He's one of the oldest players in the NBA. He's definitely the oldest player on the Clippers. He's older than anybody on the Clippers. So when you have that and you playing starter minutes as the oldest player on the team at 37, going on 36, going on 37, you're asking him to do a lot against younger, more stronger athletic players. Now, one thing that keeps Nicolas Batum continuously in the game is very, very commendable, is that his IQ is able to make him outthink some of the younger opposition. What do I mean by that? That means him playing, passing lanes. That means being in the right spot so he doesn't have to run from, one end to the other. That may look like him, taking good quality shots and locating on the three-point line on the court. There's ways to play the game to lessen your energy, right? So that's what you see with Nicolas Batum. He's not the most athletic anymore, even though he can still, get up and block shots, and even though he has that weird funky form when he's running up and down the court, he can still get up and down the court with his strides. But he's just not the same type of caliber player he was 4 or 5 seasons ago in that 2021 run. He's not even the same player he was in 2022 when they was missing Kawhi and PG for majority of the season. He's just not that player from 4 or 5 years ago. All right, so now that you have a young NBA squad or young NBA that gets younger and younger, you have to look at your roster and find out where you can shed some things to make more improvement and make better pieces onto your team. I think Nicolas Batum being a starter for the Clippers is out the question. And I think personally it's just his opportunity to, give back to the youth and just become a player development coach. If you really want to stick with the Clippers, become a player development coach. He's the best locker room guy. He keeps things together. They call him the glue for a reason. They keeps things together. There's a lot of stuff Nico Batum can give back to a guy like Kobe Brown, who plays his position. People say Kobe Brown fouls too much. Kobe Brown needs his IQ up it. Well, bring somebody like Nicolas Batum in to mentor him, right? That's the way to give back to the team that you said that gave you an opportunity. But keeping him around and letting him play up against power forwards, more stronger, younger, have more energy. I mean, it's just not a good fit. We saw that in the Denver series. Like, yeah, I give Tyron Lou flack through the season for not playing Nicolas Batum in certain spots, but at the same time, Tyron Lue is going to be here for the most part unless he gets fired, which I'm starting to see. This, and I'm going to talk about this again in another video. There's so many things I could say about the Clippers front office, how they just allow players to stick around for way too long, and coaches when they have not been reaching expectations. Anybody, and I don't care what nobody says, as many of these coaches are getting fired left and right from underperforming and not, making it to, the big dance and not, showing any type of growth from years prior, getting knocked out 3 times in a row in the first round, while 2 of those times you did not have your best player. This year that you did, you were fully healthy and you still lost. And then I look at his adjustments throughout the game, his rotations. I mean, it's just clear to see the deficiencies that he's just not going to get the job done. He's just not going to get the job done. Right? Tyron Lue is not going to get the job done. But the Clippers still continue to hang on to him. I don't understand the reason why. I don't understand the reason why to hang on to somebody who you clearly see, or maybe you don't see. You just choose to, turn your head over to the other way. I don't get the mindset of keeping Tyron Lue around. Could somebody please, and I don't mean to get too much off kilter, could somebody please name me something Tyron Lue, name 2 things that he does at an exceptional level? Does he draw up play? Is he a great offensive coach? Is he a great defensive coach? Is he a great motivator? Is he a great X's and O's? Is he great teaching? Is he great? What does he do great? What's his coaching style? What is it about Tyron Lue that that Lawrence Frank and Trent Bredin and Steve Ballmer want him around? Because he's good he's a good person off the court. He's good, having a good time off the court. I truly believe that's the reason why. I think personally, off the court, they look at Tyron Lue as like a cool, fun guy. But that ain't going to get you no championship. So the Clippers still keep him around and they keep on taking away their team instead of getting better and better. These teams in the West and the Eastern Conference are getting better. They're getting younger. They're getting hungrier. Right? So back to Batum. I just feel in my heart that there's just other ways to use a player like Nicolas Batum on your team. That's what I just personally believe. I don't think it's worth keeping a 36 going on 37-year-old and having him play high minutes, because Ty Lue, if y'all don't know, he plays his starters and maybe 2 bench guys off the bench most of the majority of the minutes, no matter how old or young they are, whether they're 35, whether they're 36, whether they're 25, whether they're 26. If they're in the starting lineup, they're going to play the majority of the minutes, which is how it should be. But this isn't a team to go 7 deep. You should be going 9, 10 deep on your team, going into your bench. If you're going to have old guys in the starting lineup, they damn sure need rotations to help them out throughout the regular season, keep them fresh and keep them ready for the playoffs. Managing. So what you have is you have a coach who is using Nicolas Batum as if he was 5 years ago, and he's not the same player. I mean, you've seen that in the postseason as well. Like, 5.6 points, 3.9 rebounds, 2.0 assists in 7 games. With the minutes he got, you would think that's actually okay. That's solid, but it's the competition he goes up against. Aaron Gordon, like, you don't want Nicolas Batum being on Aaron Gordon for the majority of the series. And Nicolas Batum didn't even start until I think game 5. And that game 5, Nicolas Batum looked like he didn't belong out there. He didn't look like he didn't belong out there because he's not the same thing about Nicolas Batum. He's not a shot chucker, but he is a guy that you're not going to worry about him on offense. He doesn't rebound the ball very well. He doesn't create second chance opportunities. What he's going to give you is going to give you effort. He's going to give you good IQ defense. He's going to give you transition play as far as, get up and down the court defensively. But he's not going to, he can't create his own shot. He's a streaky three-point shooter. There'll be games he's like super hot and he's hitting clutch shots, and there'll be games that he can't hit a shot to save his life. So when he has one of those nights, like I mentioned as a second, then he's not an offensive threat. When you look at the league, who do you see at his position? Aaron Gordon's, the Pascal Siakams, the Anthony Davises, right? Who else are you looking at? Domantas Sabonis over in Sacramento, right? Evan Mobley over in Cleveland. Chet Holmgren in Oklahoma City. Like, these guys, man, are in their early to late 20s. AD's 31. AD is one of the top 10 players in the NBA. That's who you asking Nicolas Batum to deal with. Because if you're telling me Kawhi Leonard, you don't want him playing the 5 or playing the 4, more times than not, Nicolas Batum is the guy that Tyron Lou puts next to him. And he's just not young enough like he was to be able to deal with those matchups on a night in, night out basis. He's going to get worn down. Deservedly so, because he's about to be 37 years old. So, I think personally, Nicolas Batum, and I don't think it's going to happen, but I think he needs to retire. Go ahead and retire. Stay with the Clippers staff because they're gonna allow you to stay. Allow him to be a coach. Allow him to be a player development coach. Have him train up a guy like Kobe Brown, who has a lot of upside, who's 6'8", who's athletic, who seems very, very coachable. Because the Clippers don't have enough development on that team. They need somebody that can develop these players and know what it's like to be on the court. They don't have enough of that. So you got to bring somebody in who can actually alleviate that pressure off the current coaching staff to save them from themselves. And I just don't think they have enough development. You got the defensive side with Jeff Van Gundy, but the offensive side, man, especially at that position, is pretty much non-existent. Let me tell you something else. If I look at what's really going on with the Clippers, they have some talent on that bench that's just not being utilized. I think Kobe Brown can play. I think Amir Coffey could play, even though I think Amir's going to be out of here, which I'm going to make a video once Amir leaves. I'm going to make a video about that as well. It's just they don't have enough. They don't have enough. They don't have enough teaching and development in that staff. I think Nicolas Batum could be a brilliant coach for the team. Hell, I think Nicolas Batum could be a brilliant coach. Period. He's one of them type of people that he can watch. He understands the game as a coach because of where he played at and who he represents, which is France. And also he played in the league, so he has hands-on experience. Those are guys you need in that position. You know what I mean? So that's what I think. I just don't believe Nicolas Batum. We should, Clipper fans should not be eager to have him play. Like he's older, and he just doesn't. He doesn't do enough at that position to guarantee yourself a championship opportunity. Like you're putting more pressure on Kawhi to have to do what he does. I know people look at the season and be like, what did Nicolas Batum do in the season? Nicolas Batum, there were games, there's a handful of games he was very, very effective, but there's a lot of games he wasn't. And like I said earlier in the video when I first said, people are going to grade Nicolas Batum with soft gloves and with a curve because of his likability. People like Nicolas Batum, and they should, because he's a high character locker room guy. He does what's best for the team. But at the same time, that stuff that's not going to get you to where you need to go as far as the playoffs are concerned. It's not going to get you nowhere. And I think it's time for the Clippers to start making some tough decisions. I mean, like I said, the more that I think about this too, the more I look at the Clippers, the more I look at like they don't want to make tough decisions. Like if you look at the Lakers, right? They just gave their franchise up to, I guess, the Dodgers owner. Now watch this. The Lakers do not like to lose. If you look at the Lakers organization the last few years, even with LeBron there, do you understand how many players have been funneled in and out of that organization? Players being traded, all that. Because the Lakers don't accept mediocrity. But unfortunately, the reason why they made this move for the Dodgers owners, because it looks like to me the Dodgers owners going to look to spend more money than what the Buss family was willing to spend. That's a decision. That is a big decision, right? The Clippers just seem to keep. They just like to hoard things into the garage and just let things just sit there, and not look at them, not deal with them, not take them out, not assess them, nothing. They just like to keep things in the garage, and like just let them just sit there and just collect dust. And that's what Nicolas Batum is collecting, his dust. Like he's older. He's on the older side of his career. So I think there's another way he can contribute to this team. I'm going to continuously say that. I don't think enough people are vouching for this. Like, he will be a great coach, and that way you can open up another spot, because he is taking up a spot. You can open up another spot for one of them young guns. My opinion, Kobe Brown, to come in and play some valuable minutes and develop and be able to be an integral piece of the team. Now we're talking about moving on to a different part of the culture. I don't just look at the stars, I look at these role players as well. I think everybody should be reassessed. What do you bring to the team? How do you help the team? Where are you in your career? Are you going to be able to get better? Like, are there parts of your game that can improve and help the team? Like a guy like Zubac. I'm going to bring up Ivica Zubac. I'm probably going to talk about him in another video. I think Ivica Zubac too. A lot of people are thinking Zubac is good where he's at. Zubac had a great season, but there's another step he needs to take, and that's going to be able to shoot mid-range to possibly even sometimes, I won't say 3 points, but he has to get back to his free throw shooting around 75%, and he needs to be able to hit the mid-range shot. That is what he should be working on this offseason right now as we speak. If you're going to play with Harden, you need to be able to do the pick and pop, not just the pick and roll. Because when you're able to pick and pop, you become a threat to the defense, where they have to respect you, not just at the basket, but respect you somewhere as far as 15, 18 feet, because while he is effective, while he is very efficient around the rim, it's only one direction Zubac's going to go. He's going to be going is to the basket. That's all he can score at. He'll do his push shot. He'll do his right, left hook. He'll do his up and unders. He'll do all that stuff. But the defense continuously knows where you're about to go. Now, if you can actually set a screen and just, rub off the screen and, pop at the free throw line or pop 15, 18 feet, there's a jumper for you. Now the defense don't know what to do because you're as deadly inside as you are around that 15, 18 mark, 12, 15 mark, 8, 12 mark. Like you are deadly. So players like Zubac, players like Amir, you know what I'm saying? These are guys that can get better. These are role players to me that can get better and can take another leap. You know what I'm saying? The people got to reassess Norman Powell. What is his place on this team? Because he's not a second option on a playoff team, but I think he proved he could be a starter in the regular season. So do you pay him next year or do you trade him this year? Like, what are you going to do? Because if his value gets re-upped, he's going to look for that money. So do you trade him now and try to get something back bigger where his value is kind of like, it's kind of in the middle. It's not super high. It's not super low because of the playoffs. Like, what do you do? Right? I feel Bogdanovich needs to get his. I think he needs to leave. I think that it was a mistake playing him over Amir Coffey. And the Clippers are just, I think, using Bogdanovich there because for contractual reasons, because I think Amir is getting ready to take that next step up. Right? Derrick Jones Jr., he's a wild card to me because I think I think he has what's the word? They're trying to put him in a role where it's not his natural role, but he's adjusting to it. But he still doesn't do it at an elite level. I'm talking about being a 3-point corner shooter. Like he's adjusting to it. He's more of he's playing like how he played with Luka, but I mean I think he's not utilizing his full arsenal because of the role he's having to ask to do. Because we don't have enough shooting around the perimeter. Derrick Jones is having to, adjust his game as well. Chris Dunn, I think we seen it in the playoffs. He's not able to be a rotational player in the playoffs as far as a starter. He's a bench player. Nothing wrong with it. But that's kind of my assessments right now. I just think, again, the Clippers have to find a way to look at some of these dudes, man, and say who's going to get better. And based off of that is who you can let go and who you can keep. But as far as Nicolas Batum, I just think right now his time, I think he has had his time here. I think he's now looking to possibly get he could go somewhere else and, or he can stay with the team and he's actually going to be able to develop a guy. That's why I hope. But hey, man, I'm about to get ready to get into this game, this Sparks game. Y'all don't know I'm actually doing the Sparks games as well. It's Candace Parker's ceremony, jersey retirement. So we'll be back for another show. Hopefully, probably tomorrow we'll hear something. But until next time, pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull it up, pace, out of here like swimwear.